3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, June 9th, 2018. I hope you're having a good weekend. It's Saturday. It's beautiful here. I'm getting ready to go lay outside by the pool, hang out, relax, enjoy life. I encourage you to do the same. In this video, we're going to talk about Litecoin a little bit. I want to start off with a couple tweets I did in the last day or so. Before we jump in, I want to ask, please subscribe to this channel if you're not a subscriber. Really appreciate your support as we make these videos, and also as I try and I attempt to get over 10,000 subscribers. It's like we got to 9,000 and it just slowed down, and I feel like Crypto Capital Venture is trading sideways, just like Litecoin. I mean, is there some similar type of pattern happening with this channel and Litecoin in cryptocurrency? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So let's jump in. Let's look at some things before we look at the Litecoin charts. So first off, a little cool tool I tweeted yesterday. Check out each blockchain by amount of activity. I think this will change dramatically in the next year, which I do. And I said I'm loving the 8 before 9. So you can go to blocktivity.info, and it's really cool. It shows the amount of activity per blockchain. So Steam, number 1 right now in terms of transactions. And there's Litecoin, number 8. And I just love how it's before number 9, Bcash. So really cool. And I think it's a nice tool to use to just get a sense of the markets and activity on these blockchains. And I think it'll be fun to watch how this changes over the course of even the next year. So I'll put a link in the description for you there. And then jumping in really to Litecoin charts, I want to start with this tweet. I just tweeted maybe an hour ago. I said bullish scenario, higher highs on the daily chart for Litecoin. So step 1, break previous lower high at 140, break the 200 EMA. 200 EMA acting as support, step 3. And then step 4, break previous lower high at 180. I mean, that's really kind of that ultimate goal right now for a bullish scenario, because that's really going to help confirm this continuation pattern even further that we've been in for the last few months. And then step 5, do video about breaking $200 and $250. Can we start doing videos about $200 and $250, please? So I just tweeted that, and let's talk about those things. I have a little picture. It's kind of just a mock-up of what that might look like with these higher highs and higher lows. And so let's jump in. So let's start on the daily. There's the daily chart. I want to have the daily open just so you get a sense of kind of where we are in this continuation pattern. And if you haven't really been watching these videos, you know we've been kind of watching this continuation pattern of these lower highs that you see there, and then these higher lows that you see there. And obviously that's not the perfect drawing, but you get the gist. We've had a ton of consolidation as we form this continuation pattern, and it's definitely a nice bullish pattern thus far until we kind of break on the downside, if that happens. So I have the daily up because I want to go over a couple things. Namely, I want to look at the stock RSI. You can see we're kind of starting to come down out of that overbought area. And this kind of speaks to maybe a possible setup. If we have this momentum, if we have some momentum kind of come down a little bit, it might be a nice setup. So a little bit of a price drop right now, it wouldn't be a bad thing in terms of that chart that I drew over here with these higher highs and higher lows, and a kind of a turnaround. So a little drop right now wouldn't be a terrible thing. So if we kind of approach 115, 112, 111, I wouldn't be discouraged by that. It could be a nice setup to kind of bring us down in the stock RSI, slow down momentum a little bit for a break back above. And in terms of that happening, we may fall below the 40 on the RSI briefly, as we did back here. So something just to keep an eye out on, be ready for, and even in a bullish scenario that might happen. So that was the daily chart. Let's go to the 4-hour chart and kind of look at what I tweeted about. And there's really, that's exactly the drawing. Let me get rid of that pink line. Okay, let's see. Okay, so get rid of that. So this drawing I did is basically higher highs, higher lows. It's an obvious reversal in terms of this third bottom that we've been forming in Litecoin. Here's the second, here was the first back over here. Now, you can even see this little thing I drew looks very similar to this reversal we had back in April, right? Going up to 180. It looks similar, obviously maybe a little bit more aggressive, happening in a shorter time frame. Like this right here is a week maybe that I drew that. Maybe that's a little aggressive, but you get the point, what I was trying to say with that drawing. So this is the 4-hour chart, and it's just nice to kind of use that as a picture of the stepping stones we would like to see. So right now, you see $140 is kind of that, and I know that seems far away being we're at 119 right now, but $140 is that first stepping stone in breaking this downward trend, simply because it's that previous lower high that we had in this trend back down. Let me get this brush and let me change the color. So on this trend back down after we bounce off 180, this 140 area right here is that previous lower high that we had. So breaking that will be kind of a key step in this reversal that we want to see back up. Once that happens, we'll start looking at 140 as support, and then we'll start talking about what's the next step here. And the next step here would really be, hold on, let me see. And actually, before I go to the next step, I want to point out that $140 mark would also simultaneously be the 200 AMA. So definitely a key area, 140 right now. So next step would be 180. That's kind of what we would be eyeing. So we'd be talking about, all right, maybe we have a reversal here. Let's see if we can work our way back up to 180. And in doing so, we might have some higher lows along the way of doing so. It's not going to happen right away, like 140 to 180. But that's a story we want to start talking about, right? Is we want to have this triple bottom. And if that is a triple bottom, we have to start talking about a true breakout in this continuation pattern. So here's 180, and 180 is outside of the pattern. So it's obviously that previous lower high. We want to break it. So first step, break the 200 EMA right there, simultaneously breaking 40 or 140, maybe bounce around a little bit, break out of the triangle, talk about breaking 180, see 180 as support. And then obviously I tweeted the next step would be to do a video about breaking $200. And then, hey, even 250. I mean, am I being way too bullish and optimistic here? I don't know, not really. I think this is, and here's $200 right there. So we'll talk about breaking 200, maybe bounce off 200, look at 180 support, break through 200. I mean, can I speculate a little bit? What else can we do right now? That's a bullish scenario right there. If this continuation pattern holds, that is a very nice picture of what a continuation pattern might look like. Even at this 140, if we kind of break above 140, right? Even out of the triangle, we might come back down to 140, tested that support at the top of the triangle, and then bounce up. These are scenarios, and that's a bullish scenario. So with that happening, if you can be prepared in any way, what's your plan if that happens? That's really why we do charts, to look at a scenario and say, what's my plan if that happens? Because we've done videos in the last couple of weeks about talking about if we break the triangle, if we break these previous lows, if we break these previous higher lows in this triangle and start breaking down. I've talked about a bearish market and what we're going to plan for if that happens. So I think it's only right to obviously talk about a bullish market. I'm not trying to pump Litecoin, but it's a scenario that is possible. So lastly, I just kind of want to talk about the weekly. I want to point something out on the weekly. You can see that we've kind of been in this oversold area since, you can just call it February right there. And right now we're in June. So what is that? That's a good 4 months in oversold territory. And I want to point something out. Last time, before we had this huge breakout in the end of 2017, I want to point out we were in oversold on the weekly from around July to November, 4 months. So 4 months there, oversold, 4 months here, oversold. So, I mean, we really are set up nicely on the weekly in the long-term charting scenarios for a bullish breakout to the upside. So these are all bullish scenarios, and I just wanted to cover it because, first of all, it's fun to talk about, but be careful. Just because there are a lot of nice setups happening right now, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. I tweeted yesterday a bearish scenario, and it didn't get the ravest reviews, but I think people understood what I was saying. They caught my drift. So I think it's crazy. Right now, you can see the daily chart, very messy, but just, I keep picturing like when you skip a stone across water, it's like it has a first high hop, and then the second hop's a little lower, and then the third hop, and then it just starts trickling into just no hops. And that's like what this looks like. It's like skipping stone across the water, and then it just consolidates into just like no movement. And the same thing happened in this last triangle back here. It just consolidated into like this no movement right here, and then it broke up. So we're kind of doing the same thing. No movement really. It's a lot of sideways trading as of recently. So let's see what happens. Those are my thoughts. Those are my bullish thoughts. Always be prepared no matter what. Always anticipate everything. Expect nothing. That's my advice. Don't spend more money than you can afford to lose. I appreciate all of you for coming by on this Saturday. I hope you enjoy your weekend. I hope you enjoy just everything happening right now in cryptocurrency market in general. And I really appreciate each and every one of you. As always, I will see you in the next video, and God bless.